In the meantime, let's bring you other developing stories. The City of Johannesburg has approved a new policy on protection services for all councillors in the municipality. The policy will grant public officials security detail comparable to that offered to the mayor and to other executive members. Now, ActionSA in Gauteng is criticising this decision, citing the many financial woes in the city of Joburg. Let's bring in Nobuhle Mthembu, who leads the party's caucus in the city. Nobuhle, it's great to see you. Thanks very much indeed for coming on. I'm just taking a look at some of the legislation around, some of the policy around this issue, the provision of VIP protection services to these Joburg councillors. As far as I can see, VIP protection is something that's reserved for the mayor, the speaker, MMCs, and the chief whip. So this is actually an illegal thing if it were to happen.
Good afternoon, Michelle, and thank you for the invite. And you are quite right. It is illegal, and this is something as the Johannesburg caucus that we did emphasize to the GLU, that this thing, if it passes this particular item, then you are breaking the rules and the laws of council. When you look at the upper limit document, it outlines that the executive mayor, the speaker, the different MMC, even the chief whip of council are covered within that space, that they do have access to VIP protection. Michelle, it even goes down to outline what should happen should a ward councillor's life be faced with, risk. What should happen in that particular case? So with this, what they're trying to do, it makes no sense. They were not even clear in terms of, does this particular item mean that we'll go out and buy more vehicles or pay more additional stuff for ward councillors who are hiding from the very same people they saw an oath to represent? You can see currently in the city of Johannesburg that nothing is getting done. We have communities that are up in arms trying to access water. The taps are dry. There's no water tankers anywhere. But guess what? The government of local unity is more concerned about VIP protection so they can be driving around the city of Johannesburg in blue lights. This really does not make sense. It gives a clear picture to the residents of the city of Johannesburg that these are the people who are leading the city. Hence, the city is in this dire state that we see it is now.
So is this the reason why this new policy was passed, why it was approved? Is it because Johannesburg councillors are under threat from the communities that they serve?
Look, Michelle, there are quite a few councillors, but this is nothing new. This has been happening forever. To give you background, before I even became a public rep, right? In 2019, in Ward 22, the ward councillor had a lot of threats. What did she do? She reached out and VIP was given to her based on the risk assessment from the intelligence center. So now in this particular case, they want this VIP protection, but there's no report that submits it, that supports it. We are just hearing rumors that there are some councillors that are under threat. We must look at the root problem here. What is the root problem? Why are the communities up in arms? The communities are up in arms because there is nothing being done in the city of Johannesburg. These public representatives, basically the government of local unity, are taking all these funds that should be redirected to service delivery, and they're using them for their own personal gains. Remember, a couple of months back, they voted in support of increasing their salaries, while us as ActionSA were against it, because we're basically saying, why should we even get an increase? We don't deserve it, all of us, because residents are suffering. There's no water, buildings are being hijacked, people are being displaced, nothing is functioning. So many protests, so many pickets are happening in the city of Johannesburg, and people can't even access the people they put in power. And those very same people today want more protection. So they're trying to run away from the people they saw an oath to protect. Really, Michelle, this does not make sense. These are the type of leaders that are heading this whole coalition in the city of Johannesburg. Hence, we are calling it the ANC-EFF Coalition of Doom. There's no plan, there's no strategy in order to get ourselves out of the mess that we currently are in.
Right, so you're saying And I wonder whether the Democratic Alliance in the province would agree with you that if indeed there is a credible threat, that we should take it on a case-by-case basis, evaluate it, and if additional protection is needed and warranted, that is then possible. But it shouldn't be a blanket decision.
What I'm saying, Michelle, is that the documents, there is a document, the VIP protection document already in the upper limits that outlines this. In that document, already in the City of Johannesburg, it speaks about what should happen should a councillor's life be at risk, right? Mm-hmm. And we need the department called the Intelligence Service to confirm that this particular individual's or councillor's life is at risk. That document already is there. So what was passed the last time we went to council, because the document is there? Are we duplicating the same thing? Is that what they are doing? So hence we decided not to vote in favor of it, because it does not make sense. Why should we go buy more vehicle, pay more staff, while we have something that's existing in the City of Johannesburg that we do not want to utilize and implement? That's what we are saying as the ActionSA Johannesburg caucus.
Yeah. And you talked about the cost implication and the risk to service delivery. Maybe take us through it, because, perhaps we're not entirely clear on what it means to have VIP protection. If indeed I am granted VIP protection as a Johannesburg councillor, what does that entail? You mentioned, questions around whether new vehicles would be purchased.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So obviously, if we need more staff, they will need more vehicles, which means we must start buying vehicles. And that will mean we'll need to pay additional staff, which means more salaries should be paid. Why should we take that route while we have something in place that is working in the City of Johannesburg, and we just decided that we're not going to implement what this document is saying? We're just going to start creating something new in order to start using funds that were meant originally for service delivery, and we're redirecting that. While in one area, Michelle, we are lacking when it comes to service delivery. What I'm saying is, why don't we use what we have? Let's use what we have. Already the VIP protection unit is already there. So let's look at that document, utilize it, implement it, instead of starting a new process that has cost implications.
No, absolutely. It certainly makes sense, especially if you are a resident in particular communities in Johannesburg where service delivery is seriously lacking. Nobuhle Mthembu, let me thank you for your time this afternoon. She is the caucus leader for ActionSA.